Alec, come on down. It's time for the
Come on,
Survivor Panama finale.
come on down.
What a
Come on,
night.
get.
What a day to be alive, you know?
What a night! What a day! What a horrible
Horrible, not so good, very bad
flay.
day.
You know,
Yes.
yeah.
I'm excited. I don't know about you, but we're here.
I'm definitely excited. I'm definitely looking forward to. This is a culmination of so much. I mean,
Our
of a
entire
full Survivor
career.
season. So it's a culmination of whose entire career.
Ours.
Oh,
So,
okay. Well,
so if you don't know, every time we do a Survivor finale, we dedicate a night to it because, otherwise, every other recording day we do a couple regular videos and then Survivor at the end. But with the finale, we want to do the finale plus the reunion. So all together, it's like 2 hours of episode and
hmm,
plus the discussions. So we want to make it its own thing, so we can fully enjoy it and not be completely wiped out. You know,
that's right.
and but here we are. If you haven't seen the previous episodes, feel free. We have a playlist for all the Survivor Panama episodes, and we have a playlist of all of our Survivor videos. We've done reactions and reviews of every season prior. Reactions since Thailand. But I'm a big Survivor fan. I've seen this already. Alec, I've been taken along from the beginning, and this is the first time watching, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah,
Um,
this has been been a wild ride so far,
yeah,
and here we are, wildly coming to a conclusion here. So,
and it'll be sad to see it go. At
mm,
least after the finale, we'll be able to come back, do a review of the season, talk about everything,
it's true.
and then send
We will
it
be
off
able to do that.
properly.
Wow.
Worth noting that we forgot in the last episode. It's a tradition every episode. Alec will award his MVP award to
It's
any
true.
player for any reason that he sees fit.
I
So
yeah, we were
retroactively,
just little thrown for a loop on the last episode because they ended on a cliffhanger, and I
because
was
they
like, cool.
cucked
All
us,
right,
and you
thanks.
never really know how to
Basically,
feel
yeah.
after being cucked.
Yeah,
It's
it's
an
true.
awkward.
Yeah.
It's an awkward part of cuckolding.
Well, hopefully you're into it, and it's not just happening to you because that's not a good
But
thing.
still, it's like
Um,
you need that aftercare, and we were not getting it.
yeah, it was not. There was zero aftercare. That's for sure.
They just left us there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Boy, I think I'm gonna give MVP to Suri once more.
3.
I think so. Yeah, I think especially because um she's just still kind of holding her own. She's doing good. We saw some little the improvements and stuff that she's talking about in terms of like we saw her build a fire and doing all this stuff to just better life around the around herself, like like growing as an individual and like all that
Mm.
stuff. And then this coming to a true head at the end because it was a 2-2 tie, and it's a fire making challenge. We saw her make some fire earlier in the episode. So I don't know. We'll see what comes of it. But
Yeah, the
um,
biggest cliffhanger I think it's fair to say that we've ever seen on Survivor so far. Uh,
for sure, I can't actually remember like another actual legitimate cliffhanger in an episode.
yeah, like
So
definitely not. I don't remember an instance of like no one gets voted out and it's like to be continued.
yeah,
Um, I don't know. Maybe I'm forgetting something, but this easily takes the cake. They
I
took
feel
us
like
all the way through tribal council, and they just started or about to start the fire making challenge, and they're just like to be
mm,
continued.
I feel like I
And then
remember
that
an
was
episode of Amazing Race around this period of time that had a sort of that had kind of one of those sort of cliffhanger endings where it was like they were coming to a pit stop or whatever, and then what's his name, the host of Amazing Race, was just like,
Phil
"Hey,
Kogan.
you guys are the first here." Who is it?
Phil Kogan.
And it's not Hulk Hogan. No, I'll
Fi-
tell you, it's not absolutely is
Alright,
not
no,
Hulk Hogan.
it's not what I said
Um,
either, but that's okay.
oh, okay.
The viewers
You
know.
said, I 100% heard you say Hulk Hogan.
All right, play it back.
Play it. I can't play it back. I can't. All I heard you say is Hulk
I'll
Hogan
play it back for
once.
the viewers, and it's Phil Kogan. So
Phil Kogan.
yeah,
Okay. Okay. I'm going crazy over here. I
yeah.
heard Hulk Hogan. Um, Yeah, so where they come to the mat and he's just like, "Hey, you guys are the first here, but sorry to tell you that you're only halfway done.
Oh
This
yeah, they do
this leg of the race is not done yet." And it was just like boom. It's
that.
like to be
They do
continued. And I
that
was
on
like,
Amazing
"Oh,
Race, yeah.
yeah, it's pretty cool. It was great. I loved
Mhm.
it."
So,
Um,
anything else from the previous episode? There was a beef between, there was a little argument between Terry and Sari, and then there was more beef between Aris and Terry.
yeah, a lot of beef going on, but there was a reconciliation. They talked it out
Mm-hmm.
like dudes, like bros, like men.
Yes, right. That's right. And
Yeah.
Aris won
So
reward and immunity,
yeah,
being the first person to win immunity other than Terry,
yeah,
which was like,
pretty big deal.
which was crucial. If he did not win that immunity, he goes home 100%, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like,
Yeah.
and he single-handedly, with that combined with Terry's idol being looming, then now that forced this tie and this whole situation we have on our hands, this whole mess we got on our hands.
Right.
All
So
right. Well, it's time to figure out what's gonna happen. I always ask. I mean, it's pretty much. I always ask who you're rooting for going to the finale, but nothing has like. We have the same four people as the last episode, so nothing
yeah,
probably has changed on that front, right?
not particularly. It's very much either Sari or Terry is kind of my go-to. I think Sari just for the fact that she's like the most unlikely person you would have expected at the beginning to now be like an actual legitimate strategist and like dominant threat in terms of playing the game. Maybe not necessarily in challenges, but in terms of the social and dynamics and understanding how all those are working. And then Terry just for being kind of a dominant force and an underdog of another sort of him facing, being against the entire tribe that was against him that pagonged most of the rest of his tribe. So, yeah.
All right. We'll see what happens. As always, you can click the link in the description to see the highlights of our reaction. This time it'll be a nice, meaty, finale-sized highlights. And you come back afterwards for some discussion before we get into the reunion. All right.
All right. See you then.
All right. Well, Alec, there you have it. Aris is the winner. Literally your last choice of the four.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
It's like you cursed it at every point. It was like, I want Sari to win or Terry. All right, now I want Terry to win. Now I want Danielle to win. Now I think Danielle won. Aris wins. All right.
Yeah, no, it makes sense when you think about it a little bit more. It makes sense that Aris would win. We won 5-2 then, right?
5-2, and one of the two that Danielle got was Shane's random number.
Yeah, it's RNG. But I mean, Aris kind of threw that one away by saying 4 to the number to 1 in a million. So
he leads with his heart. That guy, who's speaking to him that number,
or his stomach, whichever.
If what you saw was right, then maybe he was getting the right vibes because there's 4s involved.
Yeah, there's 4s involved, yeah, but nah, this ain't it.
All right, well there you have it. What do you think?
Yeah, it's all right. I really wish. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like it's. This didn't feel like it was like this was leading whatsoever to Aris winning. Like he was definitely a significant part of the season, but it never felt like he was a dominant force.
Right.
Because I think the reason why is because Terry just one-upped him constantly. He was constantly better than him. Had Terry not been as dominant, like had he maybe even not been involved, had he been voted out earlier, I think this would have been a more Aris-centric just vibe in general. But because of that, he would have been voted out way earlier. So, and in fact, he would have been. They were talking about him getting rid of him for like a long time, for the last at least 3 or 4 episodes. His name has always come up.
I mean, Aris was always in the fold, and then he literally won when he needed to. That final 4.
Yeah.
If he didn't win that, he would have been gone almost certainly.
Yeah.
And then I mean he won when he needed to, and from
Hmm.
there, it was left in Danielle's hands. I mean, it would have been curious to see how Danielle versus Terry would have gone, but it sounds like even
Yeah.
with the fact that Shane was so gung ho for Terry, it might not have uh, been hard for Terry to get the votes.
Because let's see, well, you would have Shane, Austin, and Sally almost certainly would probably vote for him. So that's 3 votes already confirmed, and then you just need one of the other two
That's
people.
true. Yeah.
Um, I feel like Aris probably would have voted for him because he was always a
Yeah,
competitor.
like what? Yeah, well, he might have really actually been bitter against Danielle for that
E-
too.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
So I feel like
I
he would
think
have
Terry would
won.
have won, and so
Yeah,
Danielle was literally crowning the winner by picking who she was taking
yeah.
there.
Pretty much at the end, I think. I think so. I think so.
I
I
guess
just love the Shane's like you're both undeserving. Neither of you deserve it.
I mean,
It's like, dang, yo.
right.
Uh,
She clearly was like trying to position herself to have a better chance.
yeah.
But I do I do think if she were to have like another shot, like if she knew that she was gonna lose, she'd probably still make the same choice, just because, just so you
Hmm.
don't take Terry to the end. And it's not like you were Kasaya strong the whole time. You let this guy just get to the end and beat you all. But
Yeah.
at least let Kasaya win. But
Yeah. Yeah.
and she was close to Aris the whole time too. She only like
Hmm.
connected with Terry at the end there when she needed to really.
Basically, yeah. It's kind of a out of convenience sort of thing.
But yeah, that final immunity challenge did seem very heavily favored in Danielle's favor there,
Mm,
which is
definitely.
it's kind of a shame. Um, in some ways, it would have been cool to see them really the two rivals go head to head for this final challenge and basically
Yeah.
decide who would win. But I guess there's kind of more drama and or suspense in the fact that she had to pick between the two because it's like
Hmm.
once Terry wins, once Aris wins, you know who they're taking, right?
Right. Exactly.
So I guess there's a little more drama here, but it's just not maybe not the best challenge. It
Yeah.
looked like it was gonna be fun for sure. You even
It did.
said
It.
it's like
Yeah, but then it's like when they start dipping into that second one, you're like, ooh, they're sinking down a little further, and then they get on that third one, and it's like it's basically submerging like past their ankles down under the water. I'm like, come on, that's like
yeah.
going down like 6 inches.
I don't think they ever would have been able to do that last one. That little tiny.
Yeah, no, it would have been yeah because the problem then is like it's not just obviously the water displacement is always part of the problem, but like when you have something on such a small there's really almost nothing you can do to displace that much amount of water. Like you can't spread your weight far enough onto the platform to even make it steady whatsoever because you're just going to sink down. You're just going to get if it gets any smaller than that, they would just sink down. They're like there's basically no room for them on that one. So
Right.
kind of goofy,
Right.
but yeah.
And so really unfortunate. I mean, the fact they did the cliffhanger on that fire making, I don't know if it was like they always wanted to do that or if they decided like we want to have Suri in the final episode and have like the suspense with that
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. I don't know.
Maybe do you think they maybe got while they were editing it they got a pulse of like Cerise's going to be a really popular character or she was popular so maybe we'll build it up a
Or
little
to
bit
have that
more.
storyline like can
Yeah,
Suri
because
pull it off?
checking the message boards, getting the just general vibe check from how the episode's being received.
Right.
Yeah, because I think message boards are probably still the dominant form of communication. Because like Facebook was existing now, but I don't think it was as widespread. It was still primarily a
Yeah.
younger
Yeah, it was
kid,
like
very much more a college thing.
forum age.
So the message boards would probably be the more that and just generally like receiving just like word of mouth how people are talking about it in the workplace and everything.
Hmm.
So
But yeah, I mean, Suri winning would have been really like the cherry on top. Like, in my
mm,
opinion, the perfect ending to the season. You
for
can't
sure.
always have the perfect ending. A lot of people do say that this is
Yeah.
like, you know, like kind of a lull right here at the end. But
Yeah.
um,
because it was building to either her or Terry. It really was. The whole season was building to one of those two. I felt.
That's fine.
And
I mean,
then
that's if
yeah,
that's really the case,
it,
basically, based on how the seasons went. It's like
yeah,
Suri just got put in this position. If Aris didn't win that
mm,
immunity, he would have gone,
yeah,
and then I don't know. I don't know how it would go from there.
yeah. I'm not sure. I think.
But she
Well,
would
so
have
the
had
thing.
a she would have a shot if she,
Yeah,
because Danielle
yeah,
would
yeah,
win that immunity, and then she probably takes Suri. I don't know. She probably takes Suri to the end, and then she would probably win that. So yeah, Suri, like ours winning that immunity is probably what prevented Suri from winning,
definitely.
and then
Yeah,
her losing that fire making. You know, well, if she won that fire making,
yeah. Then it
then
would have been a
then
different ball game there.
then
Yeah.
I don't know who wins in that that final immunity then,
The final immunity would have been between probably Aris would have won that
and then
in that case.
he would take Suri, and then I don't know. I don't think it would have been a shutout, but I think Suri would have a good chance
Yeah,
there too.
definitely. Yeah,
So yeah, it's these little things that
all the little things.
cost Suri the game.
And yeah, I mean, there's nothing you can't do anything as an editor. You can't do anything to really like. I mean, because as we said, it was building up, or as I was saying, it was building up both these two, Terry, Suri. But as an editor, you can't. There's nothing you can really do to stop that. You have to emphasize the storylines because that is what all of the challenges and everything was building up to. So all you can really do there is still continue to highlight everything Danielle and RS were still doing, which they had a significant presence through even earlier episodes. They were still like always
Yeah,
being kind of talked about and talked to, and they were figures that were prominent in the tribe. So
they're just not like, the most
but
entertaining, like,
yeah,
and their story is not as engaging as like Suri's and Terry's.
yeah,
But it's the beauty of Survivor. It's not like you're not gonna always have a perfect
yeah,
storybook ending here. It's
yeah,
just how the chips fall.
yeah. That
Um,
happens sometimes. So, but
but
overall,
yeah,
I would say it was pretty satisfying season. I would say as a whole. The episode maybe not so much, but the still overall generally entertaining. I do have to say though, saying all that being said, uh, may have been the worst or the least interesting. I mean, not the worst, but at least the least interesting final tribal I can remember. It was
yeah.
extremely dull.
Well, like I
Um,
said, yeah, I think it comes down to them not
yeah,
being like they didn't
yeah,
do
they're
anything that sinister. It's not like
yeah,
oh, what are they gonna say about this? I mean, Shane found
yeah.
stuff. Like Shane's
It's
always gonna hate, but
yeah. Well, that's the thing is that they because it was Chaosaya, because it was like mostly dominated by them. I mean, there wasn't anything that was ever going to be all that controversial because they for the most part were really trying to stay together, and they did as much as they possibly could. So yeah, I mean,
yeah,
yeah. So there really isn't all that much in terms of controversy, and I would say these are the two like most normal people on that track.
right.
I mean, Cerie's the everyman or the everywoman, really. But like when you come down, but she's also like master plan. She's got her master plan out there. I mean, they even said, what was it? They both said that like who contributed the most while you're there, and they both said Cerie, and I was like, yeah, that's because she's the reason they're both
Yeah,
still there easily. But yeah, they're of the crew, they're probably the least controversial, the least like firecracker people. Because like Bruce was a little bit of an outsider. Courtney was just kind of on her own sort of plane of existence. Shane was on four or five different planes of existence away from where Courtney was, and I mean, yeah.
yeah.
So
I mean, I think even just for the final tribal, it would have been more interesting to see both Suri and Terry in that position. For Terry,
mm,
like, what would people be saying? Like, I wanted to see the arguments. Like, well, you really just won challenges. Why should we let you win?
yeah,
And then Suri, I have a feeling some people were probably mad
Well,
at Suri because
a little bent out of shape because of how she was sort of
she got
not
so
like
close. She got so
not
close with all of them.
not gerrymandering, but she was very much like being like, no, we shouldn't vote this way. Like let's get rid of Courtney or like a lot earlier on because we're clearly there's several people that are positioning her up to be the scapegoat to take so that they can win the million because no one likes her. That
Yeah,
kind of thing.
she's so close with both Courtney and Shane. I would have been curious, especially as far as Shane's concerned, what he would say.
Mm.
Like would he have
We
been
would have
gone all out against her,
just he would have been going crazy. He would have been going
or
ham.
was Suri's charm that strong that he would have still been like rooting for her? I don't know,
I don't know.
but
I don't know either.
Courtney's was weird because, I mean, she's always been like the kind of zen like free spirit kind of person, but she like really was out there in this final travel, like more so than I feel like she usually was throughout the season.
Or it was
Talking
almost like
about
I'm
like
going
the
to teach.
spiritual and like
Yeah, I'm going to teach you guys a lesson about yourselves, and it was like, where's this coming from? Why were you weren't doing anything like
she
this?
was like taking what their responses were and saying, "Oh, this could actually enhance your spiritual self," like that, and like going off what they were saying. It was weird.
Yeah, like Danielle's quip is like, "Yeah, thank you for telling me that." Where it was basically she just basically just repeated the same thing back at her,
Well, it was
and
like a
then Danielle's like,
backhanded thing where she was
"Yeah,
like,
yes, thanks for telling me that."
yeah, doing something that's not relying on your boyfriend or your
Yeah,
daddy to do everything for you. And she was like saying it like she,
yeah, thanks, thank you.
um, yeah.
Uh,
But you know,
but
I'm not. I don't hate. I'm not mad at Aris as the winner.
no,
It's just kind
I
of an
ain't hating.
unexciting
It's just
win. You know,
unexciting. Yeah,
it's okay.
yeah. Hey, they can't all be the most exciting thing in the world. They can't. We can't all be. We can't all be Jenna Maraska. So we
Well,
just.
that's a very similar vibe to like how that season ended. Actually,
It is a similar vibe to how that season ended. I was also gonna say similar vibes to like I don't have a problem with Ethan winning in Africa,
right?
but he's just not the most exciting person,
Yeah.
It's like, oh, Ethan won. Yay, okay.
And it's not
You
like
know?
he was up against Lex or Big Tom. He was up against
Yeah.
oh, what's her name? The
Oh,
older
what's her
woman.
name?
Yeah. So, but in the Amazon, it's very similar in that they were both asked like who
Yeah.
would have been more deserving to be in the end. They both said Rob Cesternino. That was a kind of
Mm.
very similar vibe to how they said who helped
Yeah.
you get to the end the
Yeah.
most. Three.
Yeah.
They're both kind of like the people who are like so close to winning, and that had such strategic forces in the game.
Yeah.
I just,
Yeah, the differences between the differences there actually there's shocking similarities in terms of how they played the game because Rob was a I'm playing the fool, but that's going to make everybody think I'm not as much of a threat when I'm really wheeling and dealing behind the scenes constantly. Meanwhile, Sari is like I'm just going to put my head down. Everyone on my tribe is crazy and they're hotheads. And I'm just going to try to stay out of trouble. But behind the scenes, I'm going to get to know everybody and I'm going to see how everything works. And I'm going to use that to my advantage. So there's definitely similarities in terms of how they came at the game, which is why during the episode I was even highlighting Suri is easily at the top of my short list for All Stars 2. Should there be such a thing? Which I don't know. There might be, but.
So we will be getting into the reunion in a couple days, but we'll then have a review of the whole season a week from now. So we'll be able to unpack it everything more.
Be great.
I will say for me, I think the season would be almost perfect if Suri won. Like just such a beautiful story from her being like the one who's supposed to go. Like, literally so close to going home, even in the first vote where Tina, she had to flip it on her, and then she was like the next person who was supposed to go in line, and then masterfully maneuvered her way to the end. It would have been perfect bow.
Yeah, and even then, it was like when they get rid of Melinda, it was like between her and Melinda, even freaking Shane was being like, "Look, I don't care which one of you goes out, but you're going out next." And then the one after you is going to go out after that, and then she was able to.
You cut to a month or close to a month later, and like Shane's like buddy with Cherie, like the most one of his most important allies to him.
Yeah.
You know.
So interesting.
But next up we got the reunion. See if we get some fun there. Oh, before we go, an MVP for the episode.
MVP
could be a juror. The jurors got to come in.
Jurors did get to come in.
Could be Aris. He won. Could be one of the final four. Everybody's up for grabs here.
True. I think I'm gonna give it to Aris. Aris just had some moments. He did win after all, but he also had the biggie collapse and fall, and he busted his hand open and stuff. That was like, dang, dude, you can chill out with the drinks. I don't know what's going on there.
About everything like that really happened. In the episode, we're so fixated on the result.
Yeah, but that
ours, we did have that interesting like where they were pitching to Danielle basically.
Yeah. He was. I did find it like his method was just so entertaining because he's like, no, I'm not putting that much pressure on her. But meanwhile, it's just like he's like, all right, you're gonna vote for me. You're gonna bring me, right? Bring me. Yeah, you're bringing me. I'm gonna pick me. I'm gonna be really upset. And it's like me and Sri won't vote for you if you bring him. I was just like.
And Terry was like, I'm not gonna put any pressure on you at the end there. At least his initial pitch was interesting, where he's like, I think you would have a better shot against me because I'm gonna go out there and be like, I just went out here, won some challenges, and I was the nail in your side for most of the season. So vote for me. That's not gonna work. So I like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty that to me is a relatively persuasive argument, but she didn't seem to buy it so much. Mm-hmm. I think she understood the ramifications of what may happen in terms of how people would perceive that, as we sort of discussed right there. The cultural ramifications is what would happen.
I don't know. Society's ready for her to take Terry to the end and lose. It's not ready for it.
Yeah. So we also got to talk about how goofy it was, the fact that they had them during their respects paid. They are having them carry all of the torches.
Yeah, and Danielle was miserable.
They were like lugging her around.
So,
I almost could have picked Danielle for I could have picked Danielle for my MVP. I could still change it to that because she did win that. She did win the final meeting. She did bring Aris and helped him win there ultimately. But
I'm interested to add up all the MVPs. I don't know who wins there.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think Suri might. I don't know. We'll see.
Got a couple.
Yeah.
Some random people got MVPs in the beginning. I remember. Yeah. All right. Well, let's say we get into the reunion here.
Yeah. We'll do it.
Thank you for watching. What video would you recommend our viewers watch in the meantime?
Go check out the finale that we did for check out this finale for Survivor the Amazon.
The Amazon.
I think there's some interesting parallels to be had. So
all right, check it out. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed, like the video, leave a comment, hit the notification bell, click the link in the description for our social media.
All right.